Hello, my name is Devin, and this is Modest 1.0, and it will not be collision visualization this video. That will be next video because I actually forgot to bring up some stuff for the terrain. So the terrain, actually, a big section actually, this is terrain part 2 now. So the terrain is basically created, when we load it in, it's loaded in using this model. This is like the advanced terrain section to actually understand what's going on. So we create it using a model, and that runs through and creates it based on its texture, creates vertices, triangles, sets it to the center, and sets the height and everything based on the height map, etc. Now, this is where we actually make sure that this is in the terrain object. This is where it it keeps track of all the cells. Excuse me. This is where it keeps track of the cells, the triangle data, and normals. Why do we do this? So we can actually set it to the terrain. It's barycentric, coordinate, normal, all this data, scale. None of this necessarily matters to the user, but this is everything that's going on in the background. Or what the user sees is in the scene manager right here, all the way at the bottom. We look at it, it's these three functions right here. There's get terrain, get location on terrain, and get terrain normal. So we basically use these. It's actually these two that are the ones that matter. This is more for use within the engine. But if you wanted to get advanced, you probably could do stuff with that. Regardless, this is getting the barycentric coordinate, and this is getting the normal from that spot on the terrain. Anyway, so let's get into it. An example of this would be within the player tank. Let me ammo that. So down here, sorry, it's a little ugly, but we have basically check, which checks the location on the terrain, and norm, which gets the terrain normal. We have a raycast, which is pointing up from using that normal from the check, and then we set it to the terrain. Set to terrain, this is not an engine function. This is something I defined as a wrapper, so that we set the body's rotation and its direction to be aligned with the terrain's angles. So it looks a little something like this. And you'll notice that the turret and barrel don't move with it. That is because I tried to go for like old mini clip aesthetic where it's just I guess not perfect. That's the kind of it fit the aesthetic. Anyway, so this is me visualizing the collision, and you'll see this little red line shooting up from under the tank, and these three little blue dots and a purple dot as well. This is the barycentric coordinate calculations, and this is how it calculates its angle, its up, and everything, and how it actually sets itself to the terrain. So the enemy tanks are doing the same thing, and that is basically it summed up. Also, the terrain collision is visualized right there too. Toggle that, boom. So what we go into here is, excuse me, I lost my train of thought. So basically, the barycentric data, that's all calculated using. We go through the scene manager. We get the location on the terrain. Get terrain barycentric coordinate. This is in the terrain object, which holds all the cells and stuff. This is how we actually set it to the terrain and get that actual data. Anyway, that is pretty much the bit of terrain that I wanted to cover before I moved on. I guess the next video will be collision visualization. Thank you.